We're here with head interim track and field coach Chad Colwell. Chad, just taking over when the interim role as a head coach, just about in the last month and a half or so. What have you been working on with your athletes? Because we've seen great improvement and many school records being broken in the bulk of this indoor season.
Our biggest thing right now is just trying to stay healthy from the training through the fall, from the cross-country kids converting over to indoor track, and just with all the indoor meets and all the sickness and school requirements that have been going on throughout the beginning of the spring semester. So for us, the health has been the biggest concern. When you're healthy, you usually compete well. So trying to keep everyone healthy, and that performances should come.
And then coming up this week, the Indoor Track and Field Championships for the GNAC are being held in Idaho. You're taking a group of kids down there. What are your expectations for your group going in? I know it's small, but what are your expectations for them?
Yeah, well, we as a team should be better performance-wise within the conference and outdoor season. Numbers-wise, we're pretty slim of how many we're taking compared to some of the other schools into the indoor conference, but we do have some very talented athletes on the front side of a couple skill events, so we're looking for a few athletes to do really well within their events. Laura Tesh, Sam Washington, Ed Brown, Michael Davis, and then as a team, we're just looking to be competitive and build it from this experience of taking more people this year to indoor conference than they did last year, and hopefully get the momentum going for outdoor season.
As you said, you have quite a few, you have some special athletes who really have a chance to make their marks at the conference meet. Talk about Laura Tesh a little bit. You know, this is just her second year doing indoor track, and every week she's done better in the high jump, and she has a chance to possibly go to nationals. What's been the biggest difference for her this year, improving every week to put her in this position?
Yeah, I think Laura falls definitely into the same category of just keeping her healthy. She's had a lot of chronic injuries over the past couple of years of her college career. So this year with her trying to compete her less, make the competitions we go to very worthwhile and specific. Everything she's doing this year is high jump specific. And then within the training of what she's doing, we've made some corrections to things that she's done in the past, really focusing on the approach right now for her, and that's been the focus from all of the fall through indoor, making her more consistent. And we haven't even worked on a lot of technical aspects of her jumping yet, mainly just consistency in her approach and keeping her healthy and starting to slowly get her stronger, and that's been paying off really well. She's improved quite a bit over a lifetime PR already, and definitely has potential to go higher this weekend or throughout the outdoor season.
Great. And then you have Sam Washington, one of your throwers as well, who in the past has had a great deal of success at the conference meets. What do you expect to see out of him, and do you think he has a shot possibly to qualify for nationals?
Yeah, I definitely think Sam has a spot to qualify, or an opportunity to qualify. Sam's a competitor. He's had a very interesting indoor season where he only got to start training with our throws coach Adam Middles beginning January 8th, so we're looking at about 5 weeks of actual training for the shot and the weight, and the weight is a very technical, tough event to do, moving 35 pounds out to in front of you, so he is a little bit behind in terms of training compared to other competitors, but Sam is just so talented and very committed and very headstrong that his performances, I'm looking for big things out of him, and I'm sure he is as well. He's not going to be able to have his throws coach with him at the meet, but Sam's a strong enough competitor to do a great job.
And one of the areas your athletes have excelled in this year has been the jumps, the triple jump and the long jump. You have quite a few athletes entered in those events. Obviously, Stephanie Kellogg and Michael Davis have very high marks, and then Kelly Cronick and Brian McElroy have done very well. Talk about kind of the growth of that group of athletes and what they've done in the jumps.
Yeah, the jump squad, as they like to be called, has really taken off under Coach Josh McHugh, horizontal jumps coach here for us, and they have just progressed throughout the year, and from last year even. Michael Davis is relatively new to track and field, and he's just extremely talented athlete. Fits well as a triple jumper. He's also running the 60s. He's also going to long jump at conference. Stephanie is probably one of the most dedicated athletes we have coming into this season. She knew she wanted to get a qualifying mark for nationals in the triple jump. She did that right away, and she's continued to work on her strength and technical work. And that group of athletes has high expectations for themselves, and they've already met it with everyone continuing to get PRs in their events and a couple national qualifiers now.
And then you take a couple distance kids and mid-distance kids. Frank Kraus has run very well in the 800. Joseph Patty, obviously, a good distance runner as well on the men's side. Erica Kroc. Talk a little bit about those kids that will be kind of competing in those types of events.
Yeah, Mr. Patty has a ugly triple he's going to try to complete, where he's going to lead off the distance medley relay on Friday evening, running the 1,200 meter leg of that, then come back on Saturday and running the men's mile finals, and then the men's 800 meter finals. Extremely great person, great competitor, senior, good leader, and so he's looking to capitalize on an indoor season that hasn't been as well as he would like it to, but he's kept headstrong all the way through, and from here we'll move on to outdoor with him in the 15, and that will be his main event. Indoor lends him the opportunity to race a couple different areas. Frank has been battling a little bit of nagging injuries. Running the 8, we've only raced him twice so far in the 800 this year, 3 times, and so he's definitely thinking he's capable of running sub 155. He's had a couple already indoor PRs this season, and the 800 is without a doubt on the men's side the most competitive event at the conference meet. We have, I believe, 8 people already listed at sub 155 from Alaska Anchorage to Western Oregon, so Frank happens to be in the mix with those guys, and it's definitely the most competitive event.
So going into the meet, like, as you said, hoping you have some kids that do some really great things. Overall, what are you hoping to gain out of it that you can transition into outdoor season to really, jumpstart that?
Yeah. Since taking over, our biggest thing has been trying to build momentum. We know that May 10th outdoor at Western Oregon is going to be our focus for the season, but there's been trying to be a momentum that we've started back in the fall and continued with throughout indoor, and just kind of a change in the culture where we want to be a team, we want to represent ourselves as a team, and we want to be more competitive as a team standing. And especially at the conference meets is where you get the opportunity to showcase that, and come outdoor season I think we're going to have a lot of success.